Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and there's a lot going on in Texas Tech sports right now. Everybody take a breath. The sky is still outside. I just went out there. Blue skies. It has not fallen. We're going to be okay because our Texas Tech softball team is the back-to-back undisputed Big 12 champs. And so that's what we're going to talk about on this show. Then we'll get into updating you a little bit on the portal madness with basketball. If you haven't seen it, we've done episodes on all 5 of the pickups for women's basketball individually already. You can just hop back on our page to watch those. But we'll give you like a brief summary of who they've gotten and maybe what's ahead. Men's basketball is still grabbing people as well. They got a lot more to pick up there. Hopefully they'll be busy this weekend with recruits. There was an update on the 5-5 situation, which does affect recruiting in a big way. If you haven't seen that, we'll talk about that. And then if we have time to touch on all the other goings-on in sports right now with football and otherwise at Texas Tech, we will. But we're here to talk about the Big 12 champs. Because they did the damn thing again. I feel like it's going under the radar because like people just expected them to do it this year, but you should never get bored with success. Like, it's not easy to win Big 12 championships, even if you are a loaded team. And they did it before the season was even over. They had a whole series left to go, which you maybe can go to if you can find tickets this weekend on the black market somewhere. I think it's sold out, but check it out. You never know. Walk-up tickets available, maybe. Against Baylor this weekend at home. But they've already got it wrapped up, Tyler. Texas Tech softball did it again.
Yeah, they did it again, and I think it was cool. They ended up, I think, winning the Big 12 title outright on the same day they won it outright last year, and it was also against Arizona State, and it involved a player that necessarily was more into like a role player position, like kind
Yeah.
of like out of the lineup. Vic Valdez with that clutch hit on Saturday to get us to the Big 12 title. Last year, it was Reagan Jennings, someone that kind of came off. Not necessarily starting in the lineup. So again, just really cool story. Both back-to-back years for this program. Coach Glasgow reached 100 career wins. He did that in 2 seasons here. That's literally like 1/4 of his career wins. I
That
mean,
was crazy. They
I
did that
mean,
in two
it's just some
seasons.
incredible stuff that this team is doing. So yeah,
He's
no,
now
it definitely
won
should not fly under the radar.
He's now won 67, I believe it is, conference series in a row. If he can do it against Baylor, he'll have made it through another season without losing one. So got to get it done. One left to go, but yeah, and they did it against a good team. Like this was a lot of, I don't know if I expected them to sweep Arizona State, but they did. They were ranked in
Mhm.
some polls, receiving votes in all the other ones. They have an All-American Kenzie Brown pit in their circle that they went up against Friday night. She's gotten a golden ticket. Like she's on the level of, Nija and other players. Like she's a great pitcher and it's a good chance. And Glasgow said that last year, Kenzie Brown was the best pitcher they faced all year.
Mhm.
He, including postseason, he thought she was the best pitcher Texas Tech faced all year. So he was excited going into the series because he wants his players to start getting to see that type of postseason pitching headed into the postseason, and so he was really happy with the results because they ended up scoring. We'll go through each game, but they ended up scoring 6 in the first game against Kenzie Brown, 7 in game 2, which she was involved in with a couple of their runs at the late, and then 7 again in game 3. They didn't run roll Arizona State, but no one was expecting that to happen. But they go into Tempe and score 20 runs after maybe the offense was getting a little tired, and I think tired is the word. They
Mhm.
played so many games in a row and so they just weren't kind of clicking. And a lot of people stepped up that maybe hadn't been having big moments. Like Taylor Panel was huge in the series, had 2 home runs, both in big moments. Mia broke out on Sunday, while other people are kind of going up and down. So, and you mentioned Vic stepping up, and I put it on Twitter. She was also a part of the game that clinched the Big 12 title last year. Reagan got the first hit, and then Vic
Mhm.
got the insurance runs right
Mhm.
after in that 6th inning against Kenzie Brown and Arizona State. So it just felt fitting that she did the same thing. She got the insurance runs to clinch at least a share of the Big 12 title in Saturday's game in this one. So there was a lot of like storylines within the game of this
Mhm.
series that we can run through, and we have highlights. We're going to show highlights from game 2 because that was probably the most eventful back and forth game. But all of them were good, and I wish I could have watched game 1 live, but I was at the George Strait concert. I think Tyler was as well, working.
Mhm.
I was just there for fun. I'm not cool like Tyler. So no. Um, but yeah, I was just there and doing that, and so I was like getting text updates and stuff, and it sounds like it was an intense game, and they ended up getting it done. But yeah, I mean, the big thing on the Friday game was it was announced that Nija was going to start as normal, and then rolled around to the bottom of the inning, and Caitlin Terry trotted out there apparently. But Glasgow did apparently tip off the broadcast before the game. He's like, I don't know, I might end up going KT. She's looking really good out there in warm ups and stuff, and that was probably part of it. But also, if y'all aren't aware, she's from Arizona, so she had friends and family all in the stands. It was Friday night, buzzing, and she has like a career like her stats in that stadium as a pitcher are insane from her days at UCLA, and so I think it was just a gut feeling that one, she looks good. She's going to dominate. We need to get off to a good start in the series. And two, she gets to do it in front of her friends and family. And boy, did she step up to the plate.
Oh yeah.
No, to the well, literally the plate, the circle, all of it. 7 innings, only 2 hits, 7 strikeouts against a top 15 offense in the nation. Arizona State is a good offense, y'all. They came in
Literally.
scoring like 8 runs a game or something. Shut them out. Complete game shutout. 7 strikeouts. KT. Player of the year in the Big 12, most likely, with a weekend to go. I don't see how she doesn't get it at this point.
Yeah, I don't see how she doesn't get it either. She absolutely stepped up and did her job. She only had 1 walk too the entire night. I mean, just some impressive stuff from KT and yeah, like they said, even the announcers were talking about, the move shouldn't be too surprising when A, she's from Arizona, but also B, both coaches were kind of playing like a chess game to try to
Yeah.
figure out, what pitcher's going to trot out there. And then, yeah, she had a lot of success in that stadium her freshman year when she was at UCLA. So clearly KT was the right person for that game 1 win, and then our offense was able to give her the insurance for that. Mia went 1 for 4, had an RBI, which was paired with that double. Jackie List went 2 for 4, had an RBI and a double. Also, shout out to Jackie List. She made like the reserve list, I guess is what it's called, or something like, or
Yeah, the
it's like
pool.
a
I think they call it the
yeah, the pool,
pool player
yeah,
list.
pool
Basically,
player
like the
list.
ASL is new, and so there's still only like a few teams. Like it was like 6 teams. How many teams are in it? Not very many teams, and so there's not a ton of roster space. But if people get hurt or people can't show up or whatever, there's like a specific group of players you can choose from instead of just going and picking from. It's more fair this way. Everybody knows who's in the pool, and she got
Right.
put into that, so she's not gonna be drafted. But when somebody needs somebody to play, she could be pulled off the pool list.
She can
It's kind
absolutely
of
take
complicated, but
the opportunity. Yeah, it really
yeah,
is complicated. It's also complicated with like some of the players that, like Jordy Ball, for instance, that said, "Oh,
it's
I'm
in
not
the
going to
pool
enter in."
list.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to enter, or I don't want to enter my name into the draft thing until postseason's over." And it's like I'm focused on that only. So you have like elite players like just
Yeah,
chilling
someone's
in
gonna
the
be like
pool, like
getting someone to fake an injury so they can add Jordy Fromm to their team. Like this is absurd.
yeah, just
But
just insanity. But
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's safeguards in place, but I saw that and was like,
uh,
somebody's about to be hurt real quick on one of these
right,
teams so they can get Jordy on the team. But there has to be things in place.
yeah,
But that's
that'll
just life
be
with a new league. It happens. There's different weird things they have to do to get off the ground, but there's good players. Good for Jackie. She deserves to be on the list. I think the draft
100%.
happens way too soon.
Yeah, it's like
Nitpicking, but
happening
this is
May
the
4th. It's happening next week, I think.
yeah. Well, the draft's already happened though. They've already picked the players, like because of the
Yeah,
whole golden ticket thing. I think
it's
I
just the
love the golden
order.
ticket in the idea of it, in the promotion, and it's great. But I think eventually they'll move away from that because they're not going to need the promotion for the league. Hopefully, because you're drafting these players. You're doing the draft like a month ago. What if someone
Literally.
gets hurt? What if someone breaks out? Like Jackie's really the one that's broken out. I mean, she's
Hmm.
leading us in hitting in Big 12 play. Like she probably wasn't on their radar necessarily as a draft pick when they went into that room. But now
Right.
there's probably a team on there that's like, I think maybe I would rather have Jackie Liz on the team. You know what I mean? But they can't pick her because they've already done the draft. So that's
Right.
just nitpicking, but I get it. It's a new league and it's great for promotion and the whole golden ticket experience. But I do wish maybe they could figure that out moving forward in a few years, get away from that and just draft them in May
For sure.
like normal.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Hopefully they get it figured out. But yeah, shout out to Jackie with that. Taylor Panel, as you said, she finally kind of like broke out in this game, was kind of in like a mini slump, but she finally came in with a homer. She also had a double, went 2 for 3 and had 2 RBI. Des went 1 for 3, 2 RBI, and also had a homer with
crushed it.
that. And the fun fact about this game was all 6 runs were
It's
scored with
cardiac.
2 outs.
Yep.
Cardiac Raiders.
Yeah, I mean that's a good like they've been. I would have to look at their stats. I don't know if we've been like electric with 2 outs hitting. I feel like we have scored a lot on 2 outs, but we just been scoring a lot of
Hmm.
runs in general. But in these close games, like that's a good thing to have in the back of your head. Like we know we've done this before, and it was like a 0-0 game going into the fourth inning when Taylor Panel hit that 2-run home run to break the gridlock. So
Hmm.
KT and Kinsey Brown were trading And it was a quick game. I look down and I get an update from someone, and I'm like, it's already in this inning. I'm like, how? The game just started, but both innings were like, or pitchers were like mowing people down, and then we got a little traction in that inning, and TP hit home run, and then Desi followed in the next inning or two to kind of extend it out as well, and Mia and all them added on late to it to make it 6-0, but it was a really close game until that big hit, and that's what this team was built to do. You know, we've talked about it. Like, when you get into these games with these good players, like, no, you're not going to run rule everybody. You have a great pitcher, but you built a roster that should be able to battle, and then break through. And then once you have a pitcher like Nyjah and KT in the circle, you give them a 2-run lead. That's usually going to be enough, right? Especially when you can then go add more runs, like we saw in the next game we'll show you. Like, we just went back and forth for a bit. But this team was built to score runs, to support their pitching, and then also have the elite pitching to go know how to handle a lead and shut it down after that. And that's kind of what you saw in this game, is we just bided our time. 2 good offenses, 2 great pitchers, and we won the battle. Like, that was a great sign for... Arizona State, they were talking about it, is on the line for a 2 seed in the tournament. Like, they're a 2 or a 3, depending on how they do in the Big 12 tournament. If they make it, they're on the line in the Big 12. Get the Big 12 shouts. Like, Arizona State is, like, maybe not... They're going to... Unless they crap themselves against BYU, they're going to make the Big 12 tournament. But right now, they're on the edge because there's a lot of good teams. And the Big 12 second in RPI out of all 4 conferences. It's the SEC and then the Big 12. Like, it's been pretty competitive overall, despite what the narratives are out there. Like, yeah, the SEC is the SEC, but the Big 12 is right behind the SEC.
Literally.
Well, maybe not right behind, but they are behind them. And they're ahead of these other conferences. And this is a team that is going to be in the postseason, hopefully do some work, and probably not host, but they'll be in there and maybe upset someone for the Big 12. You have Kinsey Brown, you can beat anybody. So that was a massive win. It's probably our best win of the year, I would say. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Just to beat Kinsey Brown is always big.
Yeah. I mean, I think of the sweep, definitely. I mean...
Oh, yeah, the series was... Yeah, it's similar to, like, UCF. Sweeping UCF was really impressive, too, at UCF.
Right.
But this one had an All-American on the team, so...
Well, and I think just the circumstances kind of going into it is just kind of like, okay, like, we're kind of on win-out. We're in win-out territory right now if we want to... You know, they've even said the announcers have been saying that Glasgow has said that, you know, if we win out, then good things are going to happen. And, you know, everything that is laid out in front of the team, and they just have to take care of business. So I think this was a huge, huge road sweep.
Yeah, they're basically in postseason kind of mindset already. And it seemed like people stepped up to it. And I saw it in the Saturday game I got to watch, and definitely in the Sunday one where I got to watch closer. But everyone was saying that was watching the game one was messaging me and saying this is like the most like intense that I've seen them. Like, it felt like a postseason game. Like, they were celebrating and like really like every little small thing. Like, they were celebrating like a walk, and they were celebrating like getting hit by pitches. They were celebrating like they were really into the game. Like, players that maybe are usually a little more chill, like going crazy for a double. Like Mia, when she got her RBI double, like went crazy, and like she's usually more like during the game like super like focused, locked in, and she had a moment like that. So those are good things to start learning now, is how that feels and how that is playing as a group and kind of feeding off each other and seeing each other step up and knowing that they will. So they did that to win game 1. Game 1 only matters if you win game 2, though. We've been through this. And they go out and they win game 2. Then you have Nyjah casually waiting in the wings because you didn't use her in the next game. And we'll show you the highlights real fast. But this is the game you'll see the Vic Valdez clutch hit late and the Desi Spearman insane slide that she knew she was safe on. Twice, maybe. I could argue she might have been safe twice, but definitely the second time.
Really highlighted, had to scratch it out.
Every time. Kennedy gets the strikeout. 1 down.
There we go.
Change-up.
Yeah, her changeup in this game was...
Way out in front.
Her ride was getting a little too risey.
Give yourself the edge.
But in both the games, but her change was nasty.
Strikeout number 3.
And they were just staring at it, so they were a lot of strikeout looking.
Chop too short, and
great face running by MK right there to get in the way of that without getting in the way of that.
Texas Tech on top 1-0.
Rather than a run already having come across.
Williams to the shortstop, and you knew it
and
was
then
coming
the
her way
shortstop
because it was scored an error
falling.
on the previous play. It goes
yeah,
through the
I'm
legs
hoping
of
they
the
change that
and 2
because
runs are going to score, and Texas Tech has put
the
3.
previous play before this, when KT hit that, they rolled that an error. I hope they've changed that by now. That's absurd. That should have been a hit. There's
Yeah,
no way she was making
literally.
that play. This one, that's an error. Went through her legs.
Right.
There's no way she was gonna field that and make a play on that to any base. Like that should be an RBI single for KT, but whatever. Anyway, they gave her like 3 errors in a row.
Board here in the third.
Eventually make a play. We got out of the inning.
Slapped out to right, coming on and diving, but unable to make the catch.
And then we
Hit
just
right
kept
is Avila.
putting it
Panel is
on.
aboard. Williams scores, and it's 4-0 Tempe.
Herself to succeed throughout the season.
They've hit 1 home run by this point, as you can see. I think all their runs came
gets
on
the
home runs in this
strikeout,
game.
1 down.
If she goes back to that rise ball,
They were working Nyjah too. I mean, look at that. She already had 70 pitches in 3 innings.
First 2 years at Louisiana. Last 2 years here with Texas Tech, and that one is off the wall on the fly. Davis digging for second, slides
So
in.
fast. Is this the game where she scores from second on a wild pitch?
Doubles
Is this right
for
here?
Texas
Or is
I
that
think
Sunday?
so, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Gets away
This is
from the catch.
absurd, y'all.
Here comes the runner. It's
Absurd.
off the glove of the pitcher
Like,
trying to cover the plate.
come
And
on.
Davis
Maya
gets all the way
Davis.
around the score.
Only Maya Davis could do
Make
that.
sure of it.
And then they
Sitting
interviewed
installed.
Jerry, I guess it was like the middle of the game interview, and they asked him about that, like why he sent her there, and he's like, to be honest, didn't send her. And then they showed the replay, and you can see him pointing at the base, and she just goes, and he's like, I fell asleep, and she was just past me by the time I looked up, and he said, well, but she made the right choice, I guess. Like, she knew.
oh, just 583.
Sometimes they just do it themselves. I guess.
Glove
Great play by
on the
Tony.
backhand. The throw to first.
She had
There we
one
go.
error in this series, but otherwise was stellar defensively.
Kennedy gets the strikeout. Chester thought
That's a perfect depiction of this entire series. They were just standing there hoping for walks if they didn't get one
Literally.
right down the middle. If they got one anywhere hittable, they were going to hit it over the fence. But anything on the outside, they just weren't going to swing at it and hope their ump didn't call it.
Kennedy wins the battle, gets the
change was
strikeout, her
just
7th.
Unfortunate.
Nasty.
Here's the hit from Vic, her first hit of
Vic.
the year. Hasn't had a lot of plate appearances, but gets one done. And then Desi, look at this slide. This swim move. I think she might have gotten it on that one, but she definitely avoided it, and she definitely got it going back. So good on the ump for not calling her out originally and giving her the chance. Taylor's such a... Oh, that's Mia.
Lower left, Kenzie
Oh, Taylor,
Brown.
both of them are there.
Hands in the
Oh,
mouth,
they're
couldn't
cracking
believe
me
it.
up. Those are like big postseason
Replay
moments
two
and
from
stuff,
Glencoe
so
Carl, which is a
everybody was
great angle of
contributing.
it. They had rotated,
Look at that.
you know, 3-man
I just
crew,
saw.
so the first base umpire came down looking for her 19th win. And she's got it with the strikeouts. The All-American
I
got
love
better
when she gets
as
hyped.
the game went along after she came back into
She
the
did.
game.
She shut down sent down the last 11 in a row. So they had a couple of home runs in there. They were getting some, because
Mhm.
you know they were making her work. And then she it feels like every time she does her little Nyjah stomp once, and it's like she knows, because she did that on one strikeout you saw in there, and then everything they couldn't hit her. So once she gets locked in that way, I mean, her stuff is her stuff. Like there's nothing different about it. It's just maybe the zones are messing with her this year. Like they're smaller, so she's having to pitch more, and it's frustrating. But man, when she gets locked in, and they're giving her what should be strikes on the outside, and they're not like,
Right.
oh yeah, you have to throw a perfect ball right over the middle. She's gonna mow people down like she did in that game. And if conversely, that's when the offense needs to be like they were in this game. If they are gonna have that type of strike zone that hurts your own pitchers, well, you got to go take advantage against them too. Because Kenzie Brown's an All-American, but their backup they have pretty good pitching staff. I think their other two pitchers are both three ERA or under. Like they're not bad by any means, and you still
Right.
put up 7 runs on both of them as well. I think the last 2 of those runs came on Kenzie Brown. I was kind of surprised they put her in the game, to be honest. But I think they were starting to think that they had gotten to Nyjah because they had scored and gotten it within 1 run. Within 1 run, so they put in Kenzie Brown thinking, oh, if we hold them here, we'll take the lead in the bottom half. And they did hold us scoreless that 1 inning. But Nyjah locked the hell in. She's like, oh, no. Enough of this. We're not doing this. And then they didn't get another hit, walk, nothing. Nobody else got on base for the rest of the game. And so they kind of wasted Kenzie Brown for no reason. But I guess they saw a window and they thought they had a chance, and we shut the door really hard. So that was fun. Fun game of softball from what I got to see in that one. A lot of intense moments. Really cool to see Vic get to do her thing. They're going to get, Burns got more involved in the Sunday game.
Mhm.
And we'll see if Loggie comes back or when she comes back. But Vic does a lot of like intangible things for the team, and defensively. So it's good to see her get involved and do her thing. She's just like never complained, so that's why you always appreciate her about her role this year and just has embraced it. And she had to have a big moment in this one. I think she played in all 3 games.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I think she did too.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're just like starting to be like, hey, you got to play defense to get in the lineup, which is fair. So she's the best defensive catcher that we have right now. So she did that. Good to see her get a hit. It's tough to get hits when you aren't hitting regularly. So I'm sure that sucks. And the team went crazy for her, which is good for team chemistry and all the things. So that was game 2. And then they went into game 3. And this one was a little more anticlimactic after they got it. This is the game where they got it within 2-1. And then Taylor hit the 2-run bomb. And then we just kind of broke it open from there. But Nyjah pitched this one as well until the end, until the 6th inning. And then Sam Lincoln, who looked great, closed out the last 2 innings. So it was a teamwork type thing in the circle. But Nyjah was pretty solid. The control, again, they were making the zone really tight. She had 4 walks, but she didn't give up any earned runs. 1 run that they got was unearned. There was an error on a play. She struck out 4. Had to throw a lot of pitches, but this was postseason type pitching where maybe you aren't getting the calls you want and you don't have the best control, but you're still having to work around a really dangerous lineup to not allow any runs earned on you. I like to see this. And they're trying to get Nyjah up to being able to handle back-to-back days and workloads again. That's why you're not seeing Sam pitch starting games on Sunday anymore, is they're trying to get KT and Nyjah used to the workload they're about to see in postseason. And then they're also trying to get Sam used to a reliever role because they like the change of pace that she can bring, especially we talked about it before pairing with Nyjah. A righty at her speed. Okay, let's flip it over to the left side. Now you get to see Sam Lincoln from the left side throwing at 75. And it's just a hard juxtaposition for hitters in game to handle. And I thought Sam did a really good job coming in with her, but yeah, everybody kind of cooked in this. It's always good to see Mia Williams and Taylor Panel, the power of friendship duo, homer in the same game. I don't know if that's happened this year, since maybe like the first game of the year or something. Maybe they did that. But those two were brought here to do this, and they seem to be like heating up at the right time, like when postseason type atmospheres, like they're stepping up to the big stage, which is what you expect of those type of players.
Yeah, it was super impressive to see that our hitting was getting, back on track and was doing, what they needed to do to really kind of give our pitchers a comfortable lead. Again, I like the decision ultimately because I didn't think that we were going to start Nyjah game 3. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be KT's game, but no, we went with Nyjah. Especially after a 117 pitch inning, which I mean doesn't really mean a whole lot in softball, but also game. But yeah, it's still though. But yeah, Nyjah came in and it took her a while to kind of adjust and get in her groove, but luckily the defense had her back this time. Only 1 error and that was it. So they were able to kind of help prevent Arizona from the runners Arizona State that she was walking those runners. They just kind of left them stranded on base. So that was good to see Nyjah really get back into her groove and kind of see like that postseason. What could we do right if she has to go back to back? And she absolutely could handle that, which we knew she could. And then I did like Sam closing out. I thought she looked really great closing out in that. Something to be said about Sam being like one of the better reliever pitchers in the country, really, if you will. She only allowed 1 hit and had 2 Ks in that. So pretty impressive stuff from her. And then, of course, Maya was being Maya with her double. Jackie got a double in this. Haley Toney got a double and an RBI, was able to bring it in. Jazzy Birds went 2 for 3 at the plate. So everybody really has just kind of been stepping up, and they've just been kind of sharing the wealth. So, and then Lauren Allred had a big game in game 2 too. So we just kind of adjust the lineup to how we think is going to work, and it's kind of all worked this past weekend.
Yeah, I think you saw what the team was built to do in this series, and that's what they're built to do in the postseason, is that there might be some people that are slumping one game. Fine, like in a couple of these games, like the top of our order was all of a sudden like couldn't get a hit, which is weird because they've been carrying like Maya, KT, Jackie, all these, they've been carrying for a few weeks, and they were, I don't want to say slumping in their words, maybe they don't have a hit or something instead of just 4 hits and 15 RBIs between them or something. And it was the bottom 3 in the order, like Haley, Vic, like Desi, like they were the ones carrying at times in this series. And that's exactly what the lineup was built to do, is that there's not a top of the lineup, there's not a bottom of the lineup. It's like everybody's supposed to be great, and that it just wears on a pitcher. And that's kind of what you saw happen. And they just have to bring that continuing into postseason. And like they've said it before, there's nothing stopping them from winning a championship but themselves. And there's only like maybe 2 or 3 teams in the country that can say that genuinely, that have the talent that can be like, yeah, if we just play our best, we can win. And we'll find out who that is when they both play their best at the same time. And we'll see who that team is if that happens. But you can't tell me Texas Tech doesn't have 2 of the best pitchers in the country that you can go away. And then you said Sam Lincoln's a reliever. Outside of experience, that's the only thing that's against her stuff-wise. Like, it's absurd to be bringing on in relief. If she can step up to the moment like she did in this game, like, that's really dangerous, because then you have a drop ball pitcher mixed with these 2 experienced rise pitchers. Like, it's dangerous stuff. And then Haley Toney's starting to heat up just like she did last year at this time of year. I think it was the Big 12 tournament last year. Remember, she went to the Big 12 tournament on like a pretty long slump, and she got that big hit in a game, and then they murdered Arizona State. Maybe it might have been Arizona State. I think it was that they had that huge game against Arizona State. She had a double, and then she just like didn't stop getting hits all the way in through the World Series. Like, she was one of our best hitters, and so she likes this time of year, and she's starting to heat up. TP is starting to do the same thing. Mia Williams is 18 home runs on the year. That ties her career high that she got last year, I think. Maybe 1 away from it. It might be 19. But she's eking up on 20 home runs for the first time in her career. She could get that. Knowing her, she could get it Tuesday night if you want to go to the midweek in Starleton. But maybe she'll get that this weekend. Some individual records could fall for this team coming up that already haven't. And then Nyjah got her 20th win in this game as well. KT is 1 win away, so we're about to have 2 20-game winners on the same team.
Wow.
I have to go look that up. I don't know if anyone else has that. Maybe Tennessee, but I don't know. They haven't even won 40 games, so it couldn't be them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might be the only team in the country with 2 20-game winners going into the postseason. We'll see how it shakes out over the next week or 2 with conference tournaments and stuff for other teams, but that's why this team's dangerous. You have a top offense in the country and 2 20-game winners.
Well, and I would say that we probably have one of the better 1-2 punches in the country, because even right now, the teams that, that are at the top, everyone was talking about, oh yeah, well, their 1-2 punch is pretty good too. Schools like Tennessee and OU right now, their fans aren't too happy with their aces right now. Like, Sydney Berzon and Carlin Pickens right now are kind of struggling, and now they're having to go to their other pitchers. So it's like, it's great that Texas Tech's sitting in a great spot right now, because we knew we had one of the best pitching staffs in the country. But the fact that Nyjah and KT have both been delivering consistently, they both get 20, they both have 20 wins on the season. Like, they really haven't gone into any part of the season where everyone is freaking out and is like, the sky is falling. I mean, that's pretty good. And that's something that I think is going to benefit us in the long run, is like, they haven't really shown yet any sort of, I guess, like, weakness, or any, like, they haven't really broke yet or anything like that. Like some of these other pitchers in the country have kind of been struggling with in some of these games. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how it shapes out once we face, tougher competition. Should we even face Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tourney? That'll be a really fun game. But I will say that we're sitting in a pretty good spot when you take a look at, when you're comparing that to other schools that may have to rely on other pitchers behind them. It's just kind of gray area with some other schools, unlike us.
Yeah, I think it really benefits Texas Tech when it gets into that you're playing every game or every day situation. Where, like, a Ruby Malin, I mean, literally Oklahoma State can beat and has beaten anybody in the country. The number 1 team, the number 2 team, when she is pitching. They are great because she is maybe the hottest pitcher in the country that's not named, what is it, from Belmont? Maya Johnson.
Oh, Maya Johnson.
But she's obviously not playing these teams every game, but still, like, her numbers are stupid. And she's pitching every game for them. But it doesn't seem like Ruby Malin, either they're saving her for the postseason or they're just not comfortable pitching her back-to-back days, because then they just go and lose typically the next day really bad with their number 2. But maybe we'll see in the postseason. Can she? Will they do that in the Big 12 tournament? That's what they're going to have to decide, is like, we'll see how the seeding falls after this week. But if Oklahoma State's on the other side of the bracket as Texas Tech, and they're like, okay, or even if they're on the same side, they know they have to play us. It's all single elimination now. Only 8 teams make it. It's Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's no buys. So if they're like, oh, we could match up with Texas Tech tomorrow, do we try to get away with pitching someone else today? Or are we going to pitch Ruby to make sure we make it to tomorrow? Like, they have to decide those things is what I'm saying. We don't. Because we're like, oh, we have KT or Nyjah.
Yeah. We're chilling.
Which one of y'all want to go? Like, which one's the better matchup? We'll scout who's better against righties, who's better against lefties, and they'll probably go that direction with it. And maybe they'll mix them in and out of games as well. They'll try that. They've tried that sometimes with success and sometimes with not. But they're tinkering with different things to see what they can do, and then they let Sam get some big innings as well as a reliever. So yeah, I like where we're at. I know Tennessee's an interesting one because of Pickens. I feel they're not saying that she's injured, but obviously she missed some time and just hasn't necessarily seemed like herself all the time, but she's still Pickens. So I feel like at minimum she's going to be really hard to hit for like 3 innings. It's just like maybe that shoulder doesn't have the stamina that it used to have. It seems like she starts kind of falling off as games go. But there's going to be good teams that you face once you get there. We all know this, but any team in America would fall over themselves to have Nyjah and KT on the same staff.
Literally.
Like, no one's going to argue that. So Texas Tech's in a good spot. If everyone plays to their potential, they can go do the damn thing. So they won the Big 12 title. It sounds like maybe if you're watching this before then, they'll do some sort of maybe celebration on Tuesday night. At least acknowledge it if you want to be there Tuesday night. And if you don't have tickets to the weekend series against Baylor, it's sold out, right? So if you don't, Tuesday's probably your best chance to see the team if you haven't gotten a ticket before they're going to host a regional at minimum, hopefully the Supers too, but they'll be back for the postseason of some kind as well. But get out there on Tuesday to watch them against Charleston State. And then if you're in the area of the stadium, I always say go at least, and you really want to go to those games this weekend, even if it says sold out online, maybe walk up, have someone drop someone off the car and let them run up to the ticket booth and see. Sometimes they do have tickets available on site that aren't being used. I'm just going to say that. Like the season ticket holders that never show up and never sit in the seats that are right behind home plate. So it looks empty on TV and it annoys me all the time. Sometimes they're selling those as walk-up tickets. So just try it if you're in the area. But obviously if you don't live here, then that's tough.
Right.
And students go pack out the stands.
Literally. You're going to want a chance to see this team if you haven't already. It's going to be some fun stuff.
And it's like Bark in the Park night, maybe one of the nights.
Saturday, I think.
Okay. Maybe a special guest throwing out a first pitch. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Weather pending. Yeah, the weather looks a little iffy, but it's Lubbock, so it'll scurry on out of here, hopefully, quickly. But yeah, that's softball. Any final thoughts on the Big 12 champs, back to back?
Yeah, just come out and support them this week. They play tomorrow at Tarleton, and then they play Baylor this weekend. Baylor, they're kind of having a up and down season. At one point, they looked like they were doing great, and then the other point, they've just kind of been struggling. They just got completely, I think, murdered by OK State this past weekend. So tough weekend for them, but we should hopefully win all 3 games. But yeah, the team's gonna have to lock in. Let's leave Jerry's regular season series thing unblemished.
Yeah, add another year to it. That's such a crazy streak. Everyone thought that was over when he joined the Power 4 conference, and to be able to do it 2 more years will be crazy. But yeah, Baylor's a pretty young team. We won't do a preview on them, but they just have a lot of younger players that are developing. So some games are really good, and some games they look like freshmen. And that's kind of what it is. But hopefully we make them look like freshmen on our own senior day as well. Come out and celebrate a special class of seniors that have done some special things at Texas Tech, obviously. Nyjah, Maya, Jackie, new in that list. Chloe, Vic were bigger parts of last year's team, all of them being honored. So get out there for that. That is softball. Quick update on the women's basketball transfer portal. Again, we've done shows on all 5 players that they've picked up so far. They're up to 13 players total on the roster, with 1 returner and Taylor Bristow, 2 if you count Stephanie, who didn't play, but 1 that played last year. So she's just up there at the Womble getting up shots by herself, working out alone, doing her thing, waiting for her teammates to show up. And then you picked up 5 new players so far in the portal. And Thais Da Silva, she's a 6-foot sniper from the JUCO level, JUCO All-American. Shot at, what was it, like 44% from 3 on like 192 attempts, y'all. Not a small sample size. The girl can shoot. I really genuinely cannot wait to watch her just in warm-ups. Like, I just want to go to practice and watch her shoot, put on a shooting display. It has to be exciting. You can go watch her video, but she's a really good athlete. Looks like she doesn't belong in JUCO. That's what you want to see when you turn on their film, and she definitely fits that. So she's going to bring a little size to the guard position that we don't necessarily have this year. We have a lot of smaller shot creators. She's that guard that's tall, lanky, is going to be a havoc in the press when she gets out there, but can also shoot the hell out of the 3 ball.
For sure. She's gonna be a fun one to see. Yeah, 44%. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be fun to watch because as we say, you can teach defense, but you can't teach shooting.
I mean, you can help someone get better at shooting, perhaps, but if you can already shoot, it's gonna translate. It's gonna come in. You're
It
shooting
will
is shooting,
translate.
and so she's only gonna get better at that. It's just for her. The only trick on that is how does she take a smaller role? Because it's one thing
Right.
to get up 7 shots a game, make 3 of them, make 4 of them. Can you make 2 out of 4? Can you make 1 out of 2 when you get in there in smaller sample size, like minutes? So we'll see on her because she'll have a smaller role than she's used to. But they seem to like her, underrated player that did have some other power conference teams offers in the past from her. So we'll see. And then Kiki Smith is a transfer from Purdue that we tried to get last year. She's actually a former high school teammate of Nyjah Kennedy. I don't know if she's in town to celebrate Nyjah's senior day, but maybe maybe she's in Lubbock this weekend. She was at Purdue this past year, Arkansas the previous year, and then she was the JUCO Player of the Year. It's a theme with all of our pickups. All 4 of our 5 spent time at the JUCO level, but we're like the top of the JUCO players. She was the best the year she was there, won a national championship there with Hutchinson, I believe. Then she went to Arkansas where she averaged double figures there, was the second leading 3-point shooter for Arkansas, or in the SEC for Arkansas. And then their coach got fired, so she transferred to Purdue. Again, averaged double figures there. Her shooting numbers are down a little bit, but I think it was like 35% still from 3. So it was down from 40-something%, but just a consistent player. I think your 10 points a game type Kiki Smith guard that can create her own shot that we tried to get last year, and now she's here. We'll see if she starts, if she's off the bench. They have options at the guard spot now, but she's a 2-year starter at the power conference level, a 2-year double-figure scoring. You feel like you know what you're getting in her, and I think that's nice. And she's another senior. These are all juniors or seniors coming in.
Yeah, I'm going to like Kiki's consistency. I think she's going to bring to the team. She's just going to be someone that we're going to be able to rely on. She can also be a sniper from 3, as she showed whenever she was at Arkansas. And yeah, she's really great at creating her own shot, driving into the lane, making the defense pay for it, because she definitely can get a shot up there and can be successful. So I really do like her consistency. She has shown she's going to get you at least 10 plus points at the power conference level against good competition. So I'm excited for Kiki.
Yeah, she's consistent. We needed that. It was a nice little first power conference pickup. We've never had a power conference player come in here that's averaged double figures in back-to-back years as a portal pickup. So that was a sign of maybe things that were different this year because of the success the players you could get on campus. She was one of them. And then probably the shining star of the portal. I mean, we'll see. Some other people that are big too, depending on who you talk about. But the player of the year in Conference USA, Rima Collins, was previously at Ole Miss for 2 years. Definitely a power conference player, but went somewhere she could play because Ole Miss just does the portal thing and you don't get to play as a young player. So she transferred, just hooped. What was it, like 18, 19 points a game, 7 or 8 rebounds a game, like 2 steals, a block a game. Like, she's the only person in the country to average her stat line. Shooting threes is kind of a new skill she's adding, but she shot 30% on about 30 attempts. Her form's really good. I think that's an area that you're going to continue to see grow. She's 6'2", played forward. They listed her as a guard at FIU, but she played forward. I see her as like a 3, 4, 5 type player, and Gurlitt kind of said the same thing. And when they put out their release on her quote on her was that she could play the 3, the 4, or the 5, which I like to see. And I definitely could see, just with the way that the roster has been constructed, I mean, I could see her trying out as a starting 5, unless we're playing someone really big. Definitely the starting 3 or the starting 4 alongside Jalen in that. A lot of good length. I mean, she's just... Go watch her tape. Go watch her episode on her. Just really good at basketball. Like, really good defender. Just can take you off the dribble. Rebounds the hell out of the ball. One of the top rebounders in the country. You'll see a theme with that with pretty much everybody they brought in. Rebounds it. Was like second in the nation in second chance points. Offensive rebounding. Like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds a game. Like, she'll live at the rim. And in the lane. And be a bully about it.
She definitely is an elite rebounder. I mean, she's definitely going to be adding a lot of great rebounding elements to our game. I mean, she was really great at offensive rebounding as well, which was something that we struggled with. I mean, I'm really excited to see Rima get in action because she definitely is a Power 4 starter, and she's going to do some great things for us. She was great at getting second chance points. She was getting double-doubles. She even had a 40-point game. I mean, she definitely has proven herself, and I'm very excited that we were able to grab her. I definitely think she could be one of the biggest stars out of our portal class that we had signed. So she's really, again, really good at dictating and disrupting, right? That's something that they talked about at Ole Miss. She said that the one thing that's going to travel with her in any school she transfers to is defending and disrupting. And she's just really great at defense, and we know that we pride ourselves on that. So I'm very excited for Rima.
She joins another player that's really good at disrupting. I believe it was Rima Collins is one of 8 players in the country to be in the 40-40 or 40-60, like 60 steals, 40 blocks club. And then if you flip that, so now her partner in crime, which makes them very complimentary at the 3 to 4 there. And Jalen Bristow is one of 9 players in the country to be in the 60-40 blocks, 60 blocks, 40 steals club. So the opposite of that. So they complement each other well, where how they can move. One can be in the lane, one can be on the outside, so on and so forth. And they're redundant athletically, which is a good thing, but they're not redundant in their skill sets, which I'm hoping makes them a better version of what they tried to have Jalen and Khaled do a couple of years ago. That's what I'm hoping. And in the press, it's going to be like havoc creating. We're going to do a big breakdown episode on the portal just on its own once they're finished, and we'll do all the thoughts and stuff, but that's my early thoughts on them. But she's a starter quality player for sure. Destiny Hooks from New Mexico, a bucket, a scorer by nature, another player that started in the junior college ranks and was an All-American player, freshman of the year, I think, in her region. Averaged about 13 this year for New Mexico a game, averaged 15 as a freshman for New Mexico, put up 28 on us as a freshman, or I guess it would have been a sophomore at New Mexico, her first year at New Mexico, and then 24 this past year as a junior there against us. So we know her well and are probably just sick and tired of guarding her and having a game plan for her, so our coaches were like, to hell with this, just put her on the team, and then we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, just another guard that can create 5'9", a little bit taller than Kiki Smith, who was 5'7", so it gives you a little bit more height. That's where we're trying to figure out who's going to start and not. She could definitely start, for sure, but she might be a candidate to be like that Sona Collins off the bench. We'll see what they do. Just because she can play, she played like 22 minutes and still averaged 13 points. It was just a bucket when she was out there. For New Mexico, she can shoot it okay. They're over 30%. Everybody's over 30%. No one's lights out from 3 besides Thais De Silva, but everyone's shooting it pretty well. And she's one of those that can definitely get to the bucket. I think she has potential to be a better defender than she had a chance to show at New Mexico, just system-wise. She was the one that was like Defender of the Year in high school or something, right? And at the JUCO level, might have been on their all-defensive team as well. So we're going to grow defensively as a group together, but the seeds are there for that. And once again, another player that just lives on getting to the lane, which is a theme of everyone that they sign, pretty much. They can take theirs off the dribble and create off the dribble and not rely on just passes getting them open.
Right, yeah, for sure. And also, she had a lot of success against power forward competition. She scored double figures in all the games, Colorado and Texas Tech specifically, who were actually the better teams in the Big 12 that she ended up playing. She both 20-pieced. She both 20-pieced them and got. She also rebounded really well with that as well. She made her all-conference team. She scored in double figures in all but 6 games. I mean, she's just an absolutely incredible athlete, and I think my favorite part about her is just the fact that she's just a hard worker. She has a great work ethic. A bunch of Power 5 schools were sought after her, and we were able to win that battle. So I think it's definitely huge. Also, she took a lot of last-minute shots for New Mexico.
She did.
I know that's been something that we've been talking about has been kind of like, a concern. So I definitely think that if it gets in tight game situations, Hooks may be the one that gets the ball at the end of the last few seconds. So
she's definitely not afraid if she gets into that. In those 5 games against Big 12 teams, she averaged 15.6 points, 4.4 rebounds, 40.8 shooting from the field, and 35% from 3.
Wow.
I'll take that as a player.
I'll take it. Yeah.
And it was only in like 20 minutes played or something too. So like again,
right.
Is she going to be a Sona Collins off the bench because she can score in like quick buckets and then she gets a break? I don't know what the coaches are going to use her as. I don't know if we'll have a set of a lineup this next year just because the options are a little bit more interchangeable, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good one. And then they got a really fun one that maybe flies under the radar a little bit, but definitely go watch our video that will be before this on Jalea Bunny Ingram from UT Rio Grande Valley. You probably hear UT RGV and you're like, oh, probably just like an off the bench depth piece. No, like I think she might be the starting point guard if all goes to plan for this team. She'll be a senior. An absolute bucket, and everybody on the internet is saying that. They're like, oh, Texas Tech got a bucket. And you're like, all right. So you go watch the film, and you're like, oh, yeah. She averaged, what was it, 17 points a game? 16.5 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Another over 7 rebounds a game. She's 5'7", y'all. Over 7
Literally.
rebounds a game. She's out there, LeBron James, chase down blocking people. Danae Fritz standing over them and staring at them after she blocks them. Like, she brings that attitude you want. She's pretty good defender. Like, at least she'll take chances on. She's a good disruptor at minimum out there. And she is a great one-on-one player. Like, she's just walking people down. Not a great shooter at all as far as, like, from three. She just doesn't take threes. We'll see if that is something they work with her on or if they just kind of work within it. But we were kind of used to that with Hema, but she kind of replaces that Hema point guard. She over 4 assists a game, can run an offense, but she's more of a go score it type point guard than Hema was. So still going to have left to be seen how she runs an offense. But if you're not a good one-on-one defender and Bunny has you in your sights, she's getting past you. If she gets past the next line of defense, if she makes a good read and the pass off of that when someone comes to help, that's what's left to be seen at this level. But I feel pretty confident she's going to be able to beat her first line of defense, like the first defender, for the most part, everyone we play. And it's just at this level now, there's going to be bigger people in the lane there once you get there. Can you shoot over them? Can you pass around them? Things like that. Because the help defense is just a lot bigger and stronger and longer at this level. So as long as she can keep making good decisions around that, she's stupid quick. Like, just one-on-one basketball, she'd win every game. Like, I wouldn't want to. I don't see anybody beating her in one-on-one at Texas Tech this year. I just thought of a big that's like can just post her up or something unfair. But as far as guard to guard,
Yeah, and I think that what makes me more comfortable about that adjustment is she was third in the country in fouls drawn per game. She drew about 7 fouls per game.
Rima, they're all doing that.
Literally, they're all doing that, and like
some long games in our future.
And in particular, Jalea was third behind Samai Nichols at Kansas and Michaela Blakes at Vanderbilt, who are some really big names in the game. So her throwing in there, I mean, and also what my favorite part was, I was talking about the free throws, is she would have been second on our team in free throw percentage, and she made a lot of free throws. She was like 6th in the country in the most free throws made this season. So definitely, if she can't for some reason
80%.
get around them or make a pass, I mean, she's just going to go up against you. And if you can't block her shot, then you're screwed because she's going to give us a free 2 points at the charity line. So
yeah,
that's what I love about Jalea.
And a lot of it's because she does get past them, and they just reach and they grab.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh
literally.
No, and they try to grab, and then they get these fouls, and then that adds up, and she's in bonus all of a sudden. So yeah, she's kind of the one where you don't necessarily know what you're gonna get as much. I feel like the other ones you kind of feel like, okay, they've shown enough consistently against a lot of power conference teams, even if they weren't at this level. You kind of know what you're gonna get when they play. It'll just be a bigger chance against a lot more of them. She did do good against Texas and Houston. Her teams lost both those games, especially Texas was a blowout, but she still, I mean, her stat line against Texas was kind of silly. It was like 13 points or something and like 8 rebounds or something. Yeah. Like, so she was doing, and then Houston was another good stat line. It was a little closer game. So she didn't look like she didn't belong and like was like shell-shocked or just embarrassed out there. She was doing her thing. Now she'll get a chance to do it at this level. There's a lot of people that I think were trying to get her. She's not a sure thing, but she is pretty fun. And another one of those players that falls through the cracks, and you're kind of like, how did she... Because she was a JUCO player, again, 4 of these 5. Another one that started out at JUCO, has worked her butt off to get better and better each year, was an All-American, I think, or at least a all-region player. Then doesn't get a power conference offer out of that, goes to UTRGV, leads them in scoring, was first team, all-conference first team, all-defensive team, I think, as well. And I think the only reason she didn't get player of the year is because there's another player from Northwestern State that was like, it's like the Fatama girl I sent you before, I think. It was in the same Southland conference as her.
Yeah.
It was like, this is 38% on 8 threes a game or something absurd. Some forward that was doing that. So I think she maybe got it, but Jalea was right there. And now, we'll talk about it in a second, but you might get 2 years of her, which could be really intriguing because I think a second year Bunny in the power conference level could be really good. I'm hoping she lives in Lubbock over the summer, though. That's the thing about point guards, is that was why Hema was so good last year. Is one, she's just really good. But she sacrificed her summer and not going home to Spain, especially, was a big sacrifice for her. And she stayed in Lubbock to practice and get to learn the system. And just the offense we run with the motion and stuff, it can take some time to pick up. And so you hope that she sticks around. And then Brober's from Lubbock, so they could both get work out together, and Ambrosia can learn from her. I think it's a good pairing for sure.
think it is,
And
too.
Ambrosia's still going to play a lot. I mean, she could win the starting job too. The team hasn't come out and said that Bunny is a starter. I'm just saying a
Right.
freshman versus a point guard typically. But if she's not the starter, that means that Ambrosia Cole's just been hooping. And that's good too. But it feels like that's probably brings some experience and some leadership. And she's been on a journey. So all these players have chips on their shoulder. 4 went to the JUCO level to start and then worked their way up. 1's coming straight from JUCO. And then Rima Collins didn't go JUCO, but she went Power Conference and didn't get to play much her first 2 years. Was like a role player at most at Ole Miss. And had to go prove it, had to go drop down and prove it. Now she's getting a chance to come prove it at the Power Conference level. So you replaced a different kind of chip on your shoulder from players that were at Texas Tech last year that were like, okay, we're tired of all the crap being talked about this program. We're going to go prove them wrong. We're going to go do it. We don't care about the doubters. Now you have a new group of people that maybe don't have the Texas Tech storyline to them, but they have their own personal ones. And again, if they can come together as a group and find the common goal there, whatever that might be, and work together, because there's only one basketball, this could be a fun group. But a lot of shot creators in a way that they haven't had before. But you do have to find a way to work together. But they all seem like really good humans at this point. They don't recruit bad character around here, so that's what gives you hope that they'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it seemed like the theme last year was we had a lot of players that were coming from, winning programs, and it's like this year, like, yeah, some of these players did
kind of
come
the
from winning
opposite,
programs, but it was also kind of like the opposite. It's more of like players that kind of have, that chip on their shoulder, that dog mentality, that, okay, like, we're going to go prove it this year. We see that Texas Tech, what that group was able to do. Okay, now we're going to go show them, like, this is what we're going to gel together and be. So, yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what their common goal is, what the team is going to really pride itself on. But there are some common elements that we're seeing with each of these players. Either it's rebounding, 3-point shooting, being able to draw fouls at the basket. I mean, all sorts of things. We're really kind of harping on that this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of the areas. Besides, 3-point shooting might be a little bit down from last year, but not much. But that
Right.
area was an area we did well in. But everywhere else, getting to the lane, definitely rebounding, offensive rebounding, and getting to the free throw line. That's the type of players that they're going after, and it's smart. Like they're playing with the margins of the budget that they have, and I think they've done a pretty good job. And they have 13 total players, and I would have said that's probably the max they're gonna do, but they might fill it up. And I was thinking is they might be required to fill it up. I don't know that for sure. I need to look into that more, but they required softball to fill up their roster last year for Title IX reasons, so that football could have use all their scholarships. They might be requiring women's basketball to do that now too. So if that's the case, then they have to go out and find 2 more players. So who that'll be, we'll find out. I think the impact ones are on the roster at this point, though, because that's definitely 4 of those are going to be heavy rotation players. I think Thais could work her way into like a 7th or 8th in the rotation group. And then you have Jalen. And then you have the freshman bigs. And then Stephanie are going to, at least 2 of those in some manner are going to be involved.
Right.
So I think that's probably your big, and then obviously Bro. So I think that's probably your 8 to 9 rotation there. But we'll see. There's still some good players out there in the portal. I think they could still use like a 3 guard, like a big guard. But they might see that in Thais. So I'll be interested to see where they're going. The last known target I knew about ended up going elsewhere. So, but that doesn't mean that there's not others. I'm sure there are.
Right.
So we'll wait and see, and we'll do shows on them if they sign.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, a lot of these players we may end up getting for 2 years, not 1, because 5 and 5 seems to be finally taking steps in the right direction. We've been talking about this for years. The president came out today. Years. And if they just got off their butts and did it last July when they were supposed to, we wouldn't be here right now. And a lot of unfortunate players that are going to miss out on it would have not missed out on it, but we'll see. Someone's going to sue. Because the president came out, they're voting on it, I think mid-May, officially. Everyone's expecting it to go through anyway, but they had like a preliminary meeting today to get on the same page on what is going to be voted on, basically. And the president came out today of the NCAA and said he does expect it to pass, first of all, which I think everyone that's been following this does expect it to pass. If they just ever will put it to vote. Everyone expects it to pass. So they're finally going to put it to vote. So, but the big part of that is he said they're not going to recommend grandfathering in current seniors or anyone out of eligibility. So that would mean everyone graduating in May this year, even if this new rule's happening at the start of next year, they're trying not to allow them to get a 5th year just because it will create chaos. Totally understand why they're going to do it. We'll see if anybody sues and that ends up becoming a thing. But as of now, it feels like it's going to go in maybe mid-May. Then coaches will know, okay, I'm going to have all these players. All of a sudden, Texas Tech has Jalen Bristow for 2 years. Jalen Bristow and Rima Collins. Maybe some of these other players absolutely could develop. Jalea has the athleticism to be a pro. Who knows? But Jalen, Rima, you give them 2 years of development, those are WNBA players. If they take advantage of it. I mean, Rima might do it right. Both of them. Who knows? Maybe they do it this year. But that's exciting for those two, to get those 2 players, and specifically Angelia, who's just raw as can be. Kiki and Destiny, I feel like you know who they are. I don't know if their ceiling is much bigger than it is, but their floor is very high, so that's exciting. But those 3 players, their ceilings are insane. And yeah, you maybe have them for 2 years if this goes through, and you can build your roster as far as recruiting goes with that in mind. And then that trickles down. So all these freshmen, and Bro has 5 years now. Like, that changes maybe that'll help development. I don't know if it'll help or hurt, if it's just going to mean people are going to just go lower level now because they're never going to get to play until they're in their 3rd year or something. It'll change the kind of pathway, I think, of college. But you have a bunch of freshmen already, so we'll see what they do with it. But yeah, that's kind of the update. They'll vote it in. I can't see it not. It's going to pass at this point. It's just the 5th year thing for the seniors currently. Doesn't sound like they're going to vote on it, but then someone's going to sue. And I really don't see at this point how they don't win it. But who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And then, also, we have a really, really great softball team that has some insane juniors. I mean, can you imagine?
KT?
We get KT, Mia Williams, Taylor Panel another year.
I don't know that Taylor Panel counts because Taylor's had a redshirt year, right?
Oh, I think she has
had
a
injury year.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that's why I didn't put her in my tweet. But there is some being pushed that they eventually want there to be at least one redshirt year added, like a medical redshirt, which hers would have been a medical. So she she would, by the time next year gets here, because the football people really want at least one medical added in. But I'm like, the whole point of this is it already has one medical added in. You just don't get to play it. So, but they're saying that in football they need 5 years to develop their bodies to be pro ready. Is their argument, and that's why all these kids are redshirting as freshmen anyway. And so they're like, let them at least play 2 or 3 games. Blah blah blah. But if they get hurt, they should get a year back. So if they do it for football, they'd have to do it for every sport. So yeah, maybe TP comes back, but as it stands, it's Mia, Caitlin Terry. I mean, they could go pro though, so that's the other thing.
Yeah,
is they'd still be eligible to go pro, but they could stay. So there's a lot of talent on this campus, and that's just 2 sports. I was looking at soccer, like Taylor Shajewski, I don't think could come back because she's been injured before. So I don't know if there's any big juniors on the soccer team that like were all conference that would get an extra year. But all those younger people like Raleigh and Emma will now have an extra year to develop. It could really help a sport like soccer because it feels like sometimes it takes them until they're juniors and seniors to really be clicking like skill wise. But yeah, it's gonna be. I've been expecting it to go in for years now. But they just haven't brought it to a vote. But they are bringing it to a vote finally. Finally. I feel really bad for this year's senior class, though. It's a shame.
Hopefully they get that figured out.
Just the 4th years. If you've played 5 years in any manner, I'm sorry. It sucks, but it probably is time for you to go. But, like, Bailey Maupins or anyone that's played true 4 years and missed out on a COVID year, and now they're missing out on the 5th year that everybody else is getting, that's the argument that someone's going to take to court and be like, they didn't get a COVID year. They're not getting this either. They're the one class in the middle. You're stealing money, earning opportunities. The question is, I think someone's going to win that argument. The question is NCAA just going to give in and say, okay, fine, everybody? Or are they going to say, hey, if you want it to, you got to go to court. And then it's going to be about if you're willing to take it to court. And I don't know if Bailey's not going to take, you know what I mean? like, there's like someone who'll be like, whatever, I'm done.
Right.
But if they do, that'll be the interesting part. And then how quickly it happens, and it could be December and you miss a whole year. So it's a whole thing. So I get why the NCAA is trying to stand tall on it, but I do think they're opening themselves up for lawsuits, and they're willing to do that. So we'll see how that goes. Lastly, we'll close out the show with another team that just continues to have success. Women's tennis. Today got picked for their 14th straight NCAA tournament appearance. It was kind of a down year for them. They won the Big 12 twice last year at the tournament and the regular season. But they turned it on when it mattered most and had a few ranked wins to end their year, and were able to get into the tournament to keep that streak alive, which is big for one of the most successful programs on campus there, 14 years in a row. They're going to be in Austin this weekend, so any Austin area Red Raiders, they're going to the Austin Regional, hosted by Texas, the number 9 seed. They don't play them off the bat. Who do they play off the bat? They play somebody else in the first little...
Like Tarleton, maybe, or something like that?
I think Tarleton's playing Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're playing somebody else in that first little pod, and then if they win that, they likely match up with Texas. But we'll see.
Yeah, congrats to them. I'm very excited that they got their name called today. They really did put in a lot of work near the end of their season to get their name called. Oh, they're playing number 35 Yale, it looks like.
There you go.
Yeah, so, but yeah, they went on a good little win streak near the end of it to really get themselves in this spot. So congrats to them. Coach Adam always has great teams. Yeah,
he always found a way to scrap to the end of it. And they still keep winning the doubles point. It just seems like singles maybe aren't as strong as they were last year. So they're getting into all these with a little bit of a head start as it works in tennis, but then they're not able to always win all the singles matches, which happens. But if they were to win and take down Texas, please, I'd cry. I'll watch it for sure if they're playing Texas. I'll figure out how to watch it this weekend. There's a lot going on. We'll be at softball. But yeah, and then soccer had their final spring game. I guess it was on our open to the public because they're never publicized, but it seemed like maybe they played UTEP or something. They posted a clip of old Emma Torres making a banger of a goal. So we'll continue our spamming of Emma Torres for all Big 12 player next year. Breakout player of the year. Had made a goal. And that's kind of the roundup of the sports we cover. Of course, we all know what's going on with football. I don't really want to get into it. Go find the places talking about it. It's unfortunate. Everybody should get the help they need there and grow up a little bit and learn from their mistakes. And the football of it doesn't matter right now, is what I would say. Once you get all that in line, then they can figure out the football. All right. We'll talk about it more another time, maybe, when there's more info on it. It just happened.
It's unfortunate, but rules are rules.
Rules are rules. Everybody knew the rules.
Everybody know the rules.
I feel bad from a human standpoint of like empathetic. Like, you hate to see people make mistakes as a young person, but this is a mistake you made over and over again. So I think you got caught and learn from it, and hopefully consequences should be handed out so it's learned from, and then he'll be better from it in the long run. Seems like a good guy. Sure. Like, this shouldn't ruin his life, but it might delay his time as a Red Raider. We'll see, though. It's early, and nothing surprises me anymore in college sports, so at least he's getting help.
Right. That's the big part. It's getting help.
All right. That's all we have. Until next time, y'all know the drill. Rag 'em.
Rack 'em.